Hi there and welcome to Andy Robinson RC. On today's episode we have this, which I've been looking to run for a while now. Well, that's a lie, I already have ran it, but to show you guys it going. What we've got here is the Mardave Cobra Eco that was released a month or two back, not even a month or two back, probably a month ago. And this is the vintage spec racing version of the Mardave Cobra Evo. So it has obviously the Cobra Evo transmission and the Evo style shock towers, and it's got the Schumacher big bores shocks, and we've got updated turnbuckles, but the rest of it is pretty much identical to the existing the vintage Cobras. And the main difference is obviously this is rear motor, where the Cobra Evo is mid motor. Right, so anyway, I finally got this built. Now, I must admit, I did have this buggy fought me every step of the way while trying to build this. I think it was just a case of, for one, this is not a bad thing, but you know, these aren't like Tammy's or Kyosho buggies. These are a completely different approach to RC cars, and they don't build the same way. Now, if you're like me, and unfortunately I struggle with the physical element sometimes of building these things, and just unfortunately it didn't go too well for me with this build. Now, when you build these, you'll see here, if I point with my finger, you have these push pins that go in. Now, I find that very hard to do that, and I ended up using all sorts to get them in. I ended up using a vise in the end to get those pins in. So it was things like that. I think as well, in my kit, I ended up with 2 sets of rear hinge pins. So if you look there, they're quite long. There, they should be shorter than that. So I've got actually rear hinge pins in the front. They work, but they're just a bit too long. So yeah, so there was that as well. One thing I would say as well, if you've never built the Schumacher big bore shocks, the rears were already pre-built, but the fronts, I built them. Luckily I was all right, I knew what I was doing. But if you've never built any, there isn't really an in-depth instruction in the kit how to build them. There's a little bit of a guide, but nothing major. Now, it's nothing terrible, but I just think if anyone's bought this who's not had these shocks before, they might struggle a little bit. Now, the other thing that I did, because I am a stickler for using 7.2 volt NIM packs, I put in the older style Cobra battery retainer. And what this did, it meant that my steering servo would have to move forward. So I had to re-drill some holes underneath here to fit the servo in. So, and then I had trouble, we had a right faff getting the steering turnbuckle to the right length, because it had to be a lot shorter. But we got there in the end through using different rod ends, cutting a turnbuckle down. Anyway, it's done and it's there. But if you're going to do the same as me and run a stick pack down the centre on the new Cobra Eco or the Evo, you might find you have to alter the mount's position for where the servo goes. Other than that, we're good, and we got there. And the only other thing I did as well is I put this under tray on to help keep the body in place, because I've got Velcro down the side, and you've got the mount at the front there. So it's now fastened securely. And just recently, I put on the Cobra Evo front shock tower in carbon fibre, and that is a bit lighter than the FRP ones or GRP ones, and it just takes out a bit of the flex at the front as well, because that bolts just onto the front bulkheads, and of course then that's it, you've just got the wishbones coming off that. So there you go. So that's stiffened that up a bit. Other than that, I'm very, very pleased with it. I have ran it once already at my club in Blackpool to see what it was like, and although we had completely the wrong tyres for indoor racing, it was an absolute blast to drive. Although, as you can see there, my rear wheels did suffer and they've cracked there. Now, this wasn't because it went off into the side barriers hitting anything, it was just through racing and if another car came into contact with me. So I'm going to alter that to dish wheels. I think they're probably a bit stronger. Other than that, we're running a 1060 Hobby Ring quick run ESC, and I've got a Reedy 15-turn radon brush motor in there with adjustable timing. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop going on about it now. Let's see it going. You have to excuse me as well. The servo it's a quick servo, but it's a bit noisy as well. For some reason, if you can hear that. Okay. Right, let's see how this goes. Quite low to the ground this, so it is slapping the floor a bit. Whoa. But it is so cool to drive. And it's so smooth as well with that new Evo transmission in. I am being a bit cautious over these bumps and jumps. Turn it around and we'll bring it to start. Yeah, so it drives really nicely. Although I think all the spike tyres on this are a bit too aggressive for it. But you can see, look, it picks up all the grass under the under tray quite easily. And again, if you're running it low, you will catch the powder coating on the chassis. However, at the end of it, I've bought this to race, not to sit doing nothing. So it's gonna get moving. But yeah, so you can hear the under tray scraping a bit. I might need to raise the suspension rear ride height. It's going to be raced on grass really, or carpet, so not really a problem. Yeah. Alright, okay, so that's a little taster of it running. It does run rather nicely, but I don't want to hammer it over these bumps here. I'd have to adjust the suspension for it. But yeah, so there we go, that is it. That is the Mardave Cobra Eco. Really enjoy driving this, it's brilliant, love it. Despite the little problems I had during the build. But other than that, very pleased, and I look forward to doing some more racing with this. Right, okay, I'm going to leave it there. Well, we'll say again, thanks for joining us. Oh, and actually, we have just, the channel has just reached 1,000 subscribers. In fact, we're just over that now. So thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel over the last 14 months. That's how long it's taken us to get to where we are, but it really is appreciated. So I'll just another quick reminder is that we are now on Instagram. Check us out on Andy Robinson RC on Instagram, and we now have a Facebook group to support the channel, which is Andy Robinson RC Group. All the links, I'll put loads of links in the description. And again, yeah, thanks for checking this one out, and we'll see you soon for some more RC content. Take care of yourselves, and see you later.